Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Alconin. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
Joel, these ranges, overnight ranges, get tighter and tighter and tighter, and we are trading in a little 4.5 point range here. 1694 the high, 1689.50 the low. Right in the middle at 1691.75.
Well, I need to consult, used to be Mr. Bull, but now you're Mr. Bear here. Monday's low, 1689.50. We hit that in the overnight session. That's supported by the 5-day low here, 1687.75. Mounds of support here, Dennis. Is the double bottom in place and straight back up into the 1700 handle.
Hard to say. I think you could get this little bit of a bounce because we have been down for three straight days, straight down from the 1726 area. So that really is a 36-point sell-off. That is pretty substantial for 3 days. So you never know. You might see a little bit of a bounce. I think 1700, just psychological resistance, it probably plays now if we do happen to get above today's high at 1694. Gold seems to be down every single day we come in here. It's down a little bit here again. The GLD down 65 cents. The gold futures, Joel's bringing it up for you right now. Trading down just a little bit here as well, but obviously has given back most of the gains since the taper here. We're now trading down at 1313, and we were right around 1300 when they came out with the surprise no taper, rallied up to 1375, but now right back down to where we were before that action.
You mean the non-taper?
The non-taper, exactly, before
When,
they decided not to
yeah,
taper.
right. Gold. We're heading here. We're trading right at yesterday's low, which was right in this area. You got a little bounce yesterday off this level, 1340. Today we've got down to 1311.70 here. Just trading at yesterday's low. We were well under 1200 or under 1300 on the day that the Fed announcement came, but I just think as you start to get near that psychological
Yep.
$1,300 level, that's going to act as support here. But it's just interesting when you have these vacuum moves as we did last week. It just a day of consolidation gave it back. 2 more down days, a little bit of consolidation here. So
Yeah,
maybe we'll see a tight range in gold here before it makes its next move.
people are starting to try to pick bottoms there as you get closer to that 1300 level, and I think you're right. I think you will see some support in the 1300 area. Crude trading down here again. This is 4 straight days that the CL has been trading down. We're at 103.14 here this morning. Is this the start of a new bearish trend here, or are they going to find some support?
Absolutely not, Dennis. We're forming a little bit of a bottom here. 103.12 yesterday's low, 103 even we hit in the pre-market. And if you go back to the end of August, you had a couple bottoms right under 103 at 102.90, 102.93. So I think you can hang in here one more day, hold this 103 level as this commodity turns around a lot with double bottoms and stuff. So looking for this 103 level to hold here in the crude market.
Let's go check out BlackBerry for a minute. Obviously got halted yesterday during the session. Getting a potential bid, Fairfax, which is their biggest shareholder, is going to try to get a group together to bid for the company at $9. Everybody is complaining, oh, only $9 for BBRY. It actually opened after the halt at 9. If you just show the chart from yesterday there, Joel, opened at $9, ran up quickly to 9.20. Everybody jumping in saying, oh, well, they're going to get 9. Somebody else will come in and buy it. But all those people that were buying it above 9 quickly were regretting the move because then it went under 9, got all the way down to about 875, and actually closed at 882. It was upgraded today by a couple of banks, National Bank upgrading it, and Canaccord Genuity, both giving a price target of 9 exactly, so they must think that this deal might actually go through. 876 is where it's trading at right now, though, down 6 cents, so about 24 cents below that potential $9 takeout price.
Do you mind if I go on one of my conspiracy theory rants
Go
here?
ahead.
Just discussing with Brent, they come out with this news on Friday. Okay, the stock's trading at 10.50. They come out with this news, lower guidance, boom, comes down to $8, gets the bounce. I mean, on Friday they had no idea that Fairfax was looking into this. I mean, it just seems to me just a weird, set of events that they do this on Friday, and then Monday the potential merger comes out. I just it doesn't make any sense to
It
me.
could be from Fairfax perspective too. They're almost pulling like an icon here because remember, icon always comes in, accumulates 8, 9, 10% of the company, then discloses it in hopes it gets a pop, or it tries to make these fake bids for the company too. They're almost pulling like an icon here because Fairfax does own over 9% of BlackBerry, the biggest shareholder there, and maybe Fairfax themselves were pretty, upset obviously that the company what had happened, and they wanted to get the stock to pop back up, which they actually did. So you could say, and I'm hoping obviously that this is a real bid, and they're going to try to get it together for the sake of BlackBerry shareholders. But at the same time, Icon pulls this stuff sometimes too. Oh yeah, I'm going to try to buy out the, remember Clorox back in the day, and he's done it again
Yep.
and again. This is kind of the same type of deal where Fairfax, big shareholder, oh, I'm going to try to put a bid together, with a group of investors at $9 to make the stock pop up, and obviously it gets them back, so a lot of the money or some of the money that they lost from Friday. So,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see their trading blotter from Friday, huh?
yeah, well, and we know they had a position, so regardless, even if they didn't make any trades, it gets back a lot of the losses that they sustained on Friday too, and maybe they hope by getting the ball rolling or something, we're saying 9, maybe somebody else will come in and bid higher too. They're hoping. So, I mean, from Fairfax perspective, I guess there really wasn't that much to lose here unless they actually do go acquire the whole company, and obviously, if it ends up not being that good of an investment, but. Shareholders were pretty upset though. That $9 price tag. They wanted the thing higher, but they're not getting it
Right.
here, and it's not going higher. Obviously, this morning here, even with a couple upgrades. So 877 is where it's at for now.
Right. Just keep an eye on the $8 level. That's what you hit on Friday, 801. That coincided with the November low. I guess 9 is something that you got to keep in the back of your mind. And I guess if you had this as a short position here, you're kind of leaving yourself open ended a little bit here in case someone comes in at a higher price here. But not a not a great ending or a great scenario here for shares or owners of BlackBerry shares.
No. Red Hat reported earnings. They actually appeared to be pretty good, and I believe the stock popped up right after the earnings report, RHT. The stock actually
Oh, they changed it, huh?
no, it's well when it yeah actually when it was back on the Nasdaq years ago. I think you're going back a lot of years. You're dating yourself there, Joel. I think it was RHAT was back on the Nasdaq, but it's been on the NYSE for a number of years now. So it's RHT now, 54.85. It popped up to right after the report. They reported 35 cents versus 33. 374 million versus 372 million. So both beat on the top, beat on the bottom, and people got news algo probably a little bit there, got excited, bought it up $1.50 up to 54.85. But then they lowered guidance. Q3 guidance was light. 34 cents to 35 cents. Estimates are up at 35. They see sales at 381 to 384 million versus 392 million, and the stock just started cascading down and continues to trade down here even in the pre-market. It is now down over $5 here this morning, trading with a 47 handle.
Someone's making a stand here, though, Dennis. I mean, you did come down. Looked like 49 was going to hold. Boom, they took it down to 48. Looked like 48 was going to hold. Now they're down to 47 here. And it looks like someone's just picking off offers here, that are coming in. I mean, it's a big windfall here. Stock down $6. If you had come in short and you saw the thing, up trading up to 54.85, you probably, weren't too happy about that. Now it's $8 away from there. Finding some support here with the July low of this year at 47.03. So, not telling you to run out and buy the thing here at 47, but looks like it is trying to form a little bit of support.
Another stock that reported earnings this morning is LEN, L-E-N, which is Lennar Corporation. They reported 54 cents versus 45, so beat on the bottom line nicely. Beat on the top line too, 1.6 billion versus 1.56 billion. And it is getting a little bit of a pop here. It's pretty quiet though. It's traded some stock, but it's not really moving that much. It's up at 35 right now, so up 46 cents from the 4 o'clock close.
Right, and just holding right here at the $35 level, up 40 some cents. Going to yesterday's range, 35.01 was yesterday's high here, so we are opening into resistance. If it takes out the 35,
Opens up.
things are, well, right up to 36 and change. But I'd use that 35 is a good swing level if you're looking to short this thing and it goes, 35, 35, oh 05, 35, 10 off the open and then dips back below that 35 level. I don't see a lot of real estate till you get down to, well, if the close at 34.54 should give you some minor support, but major support buck away from yesterday's low at 34.10.
Bring up the chart of Cypress Semiconductor, which is CY. It's going to come out of a halt here in about 45 seconds. CY, if you can bring up the pre-market chart so we can see the action as it comes up. They actually lowered guidance, Q3 guidance. They see sales down at 184 to 187 million versus 204 million. They also see Q4 sales down another 9 to 11% from Q3. So lowering guidance substantially here for CY. It's going to come out of that halt, like we said, in about 20 seconds. So we'll watch this
Where do you
pre-market
think it's
action.
going to open?
It's going to
Where do you
open.
think?
I think it's going to open probably down about $1. I'm guessing around the 10.
$10. Yep.
Maybe not quite that far, 10.50, but I think you have pretty good support at 10. If it opened at 10, could be interesting. We're going to find out here in about 5 seconds. We should have did an over/under on where it's going to open. Would have been fun, but here we go on Cypress Semiconductor. 10.50. Hey, 400 shares only. So,
No.
wait, 10.40, going lower, going lower. 10.38, going lower, lower. It's been at 10 and a quarter right now. 10,
Yeah.
10.16. Did you have I don't have a 10.16. Must have been an odd lot. Oh no, actually you're right. 10.16. 100 shares trade on the NSDQ down there. So it opened at 10.50 and trade 100 shares 10.16. Now it's kind of hanging out just above that $10 level. I think that's CY, the whole $10 area. We were down there at 10.02 on June 25th, and we bounced out of that level. So maybe we find a little bit of support there again, but will be interesting to see once this news obviously digests. 10 and a quarter now, going down there to test.
Okay.
Let's see why. Another couple stocks, obviously semiconductors could be under a little bit of pressure with this. You could look at a company like Broadcom, BRCM. They sometimes can have a little bit of sympathy move there. Also another one is Taiwan Semiconductor, which is TSM. That one could have a little bit of a sympathy move too. So semiconductors could be under a little bit of pressure here with this CY news.
Aren't you going to give your ADR rant on the TSM? Or
not? Oh, well, Taiwan Semiconductor is a little different story because it trades pretty heavy over here. So I don't like them when they're, obviously, they straight up ADRs that just trade by appointment only. It seemed like over here, but Taiwan's pretty active over here, and it's one, I don't like to always trading the companies obviously that are listed elsewhere, but Taiwan's one I do actually make an exception for, and I do trade that one periodically. Let's move on. CarMax, KMX. Just reported earnings here this morning as well, and they had a nice quarter here. 62 cents versus 56, 3.25 billion versus 3.12 billion on the sales. Be on the top, be on the bottom. Stock rallying $2.19 here, kicking up right up to the new 52-week high. 52-week high is 52.27, which was set back on September the 10th, and we are there right now trying to bump up against that.
Yeah, 52.48. Good job, technical analysis there. You took my lines from me. 52.27 has been the high of the move. Up, a little bit over 2 points here. So 52.27, former high. 52.48, the pre-market high. I'm not sure if this is an all-time high for the stock here, but boy, sure's had a nice rally. Yep, keep an eye on that pre-market high. 52.48.
I always like.
And Noah's pointing out here, crude is not holding that 103 level here. We just dip, dive, and duck here. So the theory of the double bottom is out the window here. Crude well under 103 here, 102. Just ticked 102.74.
Crude still moving a little bit lower here. So maybe that downtrend 3-4 days in a row, maybe it becomes a fifth day in a row here on the crude. Or actually, I think it's the fourth day in a row on the crude down. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's move on to some of the top S&P components. First off, let's just start with Apple here because obviously had the huge pop-up yesterday. Got up, just didn't quite get to the 500 psychological level, but did get up to 496.91. Obviously, lots of good news with the iPhone sales and guidance and everything. So Apple is actually trading up another $2.64 here this morning. Susquehanna upgrading the stock, raising their price target to $6.25. But it does seem seem like it's getting some little bit of resistance here in the mid 490s.
Right. We were talking about the 500 psychological. We actually got up to 499 in the pre-market yesterday.
Wow.
Only got as high as 496.41. Trading in the pre-market here, finding some resistance under that at the 495 level. But boy, this is kind of a little bit of a difficult chart to analyze here with the gaps, all over the place, not giving you a chance to get in unless you're taking this thing home overnight here. Kind of would like to see it back down at 478 and change to at least fill the gap from Friday, Monday's trading, but looks like too many people are stuck short this stock. So keep an eye above 500 here. You get above 500, really no major resistance until you get close to the 508 level. You had two highs at 507.45 and 507.92. So keeping an eye on that psychological $500 level.
Facebook making new all-time
Gosh.
highs here again every single day. It seems like the stock makes a new all-time high. Price target being raised at Citigroup, and they are upgrading the stock as well, raising the price target to $55. It was down at 32. 48.10 is where it's trading on 1.2 million shares. Man, this stock trades. I'm telling you, this stock it's got a penny. It's got a penny spread in the pre-market. It trades just like crazy, liquid, liquid, liquid. But
Good.
taking off here, yeah, you like to see that. Obviously it's only a few stocks that can have that tight of spreads in the pre-market. But here we are. We're making new 52-week highs again here. That whole $50 area almost starting to come into play. We're only $1.90 away.
48.24. We hit that twice in the pre-market, so that's the only resistance you have. But I tell you, they just are capitalizing on the mobile. And me personally, I'm not on Facebook, but my wife has been involved in a fundraiser for my brother-in-law, and just communicating with people and videos and messages and everything. I mean, it's a great way to communicate. That was my original theory when it IPO'd at 42 and went to 17. But just,
Just took a while for
it's,
everybody to realize that's a great way to communicate.
yeah, I mean, they're starting to capitalize on the
Yeah,
mobile, and it's where do you get on the train? Where do you get off the train?
who
$50
knows?
seems to be the psychological level. Shorter term, keep an eye on 48.24. That's the all-time high.
Netflix had a big reversal day there yesterday, and it is trading down here again today after making a new high on the move. Opened up, I believe, right at the highs. Actually, I hate it when you see that. Opened up at 320.79 or 320.39, which was exactly the high, and gave it all back. Fell $20 during the day, so that was a big reversal. Bounced off the 300 level, got down to 299.5, so we'll call that 300. Bounced off there, got up to 305, but is retesting that level again here today. It's 300. We've said this before about Netflix. That's the bogey that the stock needs to hold, and it's testing it here again.
Yeah, I'm keeping this one on my weekly puts list here.
Yeah, not a bad
Obviously,
idea.
it just, but I'm lowering it below the 300 level because I think that's where you're gonna,
Yep,
you're really gonna get people, in and out of it. But I really like this 298 level. You've had low 97.70,
yep.
98.12, 98.35. So as long as it stays above there, I'm not going to sharpen, get too excited about this. But something like this, and a stock that's so apt to move with the news, good news with the Emmys and stuff. You're probably really not going to get this thing to crater, until your buddy Carl, says he's selling some stocks or something like that. You
Carl
know what
says
I
he's
mean?
selling stocks will fall $50 probably.
I mean, that's what I think. It's really to get it, that instant gratification on this thing. You're going to need some kind of news like this. I mean, the analysts can, do their things, move it up and down, but I think until Big Back Carl, starts to peel his position here, it's probably going to be a tough short.
Well, and look at the chart of Facebook. We'll just go back to it for a second. Remember how that big washout day when it fell through 45 and got all the way down to 42 and a half? That was about 6 trading sessions ago. You can see if you zoom in a little bit closer there, you'll
Yep,
see those couple of bars that I'm talking
right
about.
here.
And so you had the big down day where it looked like a reversal, and then boom, it reversed back the other way and got all the gains back the very next day. That is what Netflix, I would love to see it do that for the bulls. I don't know if it's going to do that. It's rare that a stock actually does do that, but Facebook did it 6 days ago. Netflix kind of trades the same way. So I would say as long as this holds that whole 297 to 298 level that you're talking about, you could potentially try to pick a bottom here. If it takes that out though, and Facebook did not take it out, and that's why it was able to reverse. But if it takes it out, yesterday's low, starts taking out that 297, 298 level, then all bets are off. So, if you're
Well,
picking bottoms,
that
I think that's
Facebook,
got to be your out.
yeah, that Facebook did turn around. I mean, that was an exact double bottom there at the
Yeah.
42, 43 level. So, I mean, just wait for the technicals to
Yep.
kind of shape up here, and that's the way they're shaping up at 298 Facebook.
Just one other one I wanted to highlight was Applied Materials AMAT, which is getting a good pop here today. They are merging with a little company TOELF, which is actually, I don't know if that's listed or
Tokyo
not.
Electricon,
Yeah,
something
Tokyo
like that.
Electron. I don't know if you can try to bring that up. I actually don't know if it's listed here or not. TOELF. I think it might be OTC, but see if you can
Actually,
bring something. Yeah, I don't
there
know.
you go. There's a good looking chart.
Yeah, good looking chart line. Okay, we'll ignore the TOE, the Tokyo Electron chart. Go back to Applied Materials though, because they are merging with the company as a $29 billion all-stock merger here, and Applied Materials getting a good lift, trading up 6.5% on this news, trading up here over to a new 52-week high actually at 1702.
Right, 1745. You hit that in the pre-market, pulled back to the $17 level, uh, blowing away the high that you had back in July at 1678. Looking longer term, that 1678 has just been a multi-week high, and now looking longer term on the monthlies here, I don't see the stock trading at this level since way back, Dennis, in September 2008.
Whoa.
Stock had some. That's when it slipped down to the financial crisis. So not a lot of resistance in the entire 17 handle. So have to use that 1745 as a bogey if you're looking to exit on this kind of news or try a short position.
I'm going to sneak one more in on you. I know you wanted to talk about Google. Here you were talking about the technical start, and it looked like they're breaking down on this thing. You were telling me in the pre-market that you think the potential is there for a sell-off. What are you looking at here in Google that gives you that thought?
Well, first of all, it's just kind of cold every time it's got over 900.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
going
it's definitely
back in
somebody dumping
August.
stock up
Yep,
there.
yep. Letting it get up to 901, 902, 903, and then say, hey, sell me a couple 100,000 shares, knocks it right back down. It's still holding in here at this 885 level. 880 was a recent low that you had, but I'm still kind of using this 885 here, kind of as the bogey on the downside. I mean, if you're trying to do it as a swing trade, obviously you got to risk it going back over 900 again. 880, 881 was your low on the 17th here, but just looks like it's starting to get a little bit heavy here. And I know we haven't talked about it or done the calculations on it yesterday, but with Google going down 17 yesterday and Apple going up 20 some, that Apple Google spread,
Tightening again. It's
yeah,
only
wasn't it at zero? And
385. Yeah, it was zero. It was zero about a year ago, where both stocks I think were trading in the 680 area, and then obviously Google's been up 200 points from there, and Apple's been down 200 points from there, and it's almost a 400 point spread. It's only about what 390 points now. The spread still pretty wide, obviously, but actually I think it got up in like the 450 or 460 points difference between those two companies. So just looking at the stock prices themselves, not the market caps or anything, but the stock prices themselves, interesting that they were the same price a year ago and they're now almost 400 points apart. So just shows you how good of a year Google had and how bad of a year Apple had. But overall, E-minis here are trading the exact same spot they were when we started the show, 1691.75. Are we going to break out, or what's going to happen here today?
just looking, as long as we hold that overnight low, which was also Monday's low, 1689.50, the Bulls got a chance here for a little bit of a rebound. Still trading below the close here. minor resistance at that 94 level, which was the pre-market high, and then also just up on the upside. Yesterday when we did have the rally off the 89.50 low, sellers were stepping in ahead of that psychological $1,700 level. Only got up to the high, 1698. So think they can have trouble getting back into the 1700 handle today.
That's our show for today, guys. Have a great day. Back at you tomorrow morning.